Well, isn't it typical? Wintertime, we come up here looking for snow and it's a glorious day, bitterly cold. But we're here at Tebay Services. Many of you might recognise it. Not many will have seen it from this angle or this height because we're quite a way above it. But there's a lot of work going on here and we're going to bring you all the latest news on that in this video. So welcome, I'm Dave. This is Dave Takes It On. Well, as we travel around, one thing we notice is HGVs absolutely everywhere. They take over motorway services in particular. And when we come here, we're at Tebay, we find the space for 6. It's not very many in this day and age. So with what we've just been talking to the site manager about is there's major changes on the way here. There's a load of work going on. You'll see dumper trucks and bulldozers and everything moving about all over the place. And what's happening is, specifically here, they're going to extend the HGV parking spaces here, same on the northbound side, so they can cater for an awful lot more traffic, because this is proving to be a very popular location for people to stop at. We've just had a delightful breakfast here, by the way. And so they want to appeal to a much wider audience, attract more business to the location. So big changes here. So in the background, we've got bulldozers, everything. And the story behind this is that they're digging out here to expand the lorry park, and then they're taking the soil over there because right behind the chargers there's a massive dip and they want to fill that in, level it off. So that's one of the things that's happening here. They're expanding the lorry. That will also free up a lot more of the car park, because some of the stuff at the moment that the lorries tend to use to come down this way is blocking up the car park. So at the same time as letting more HGV in, they're letting more cars in, and so there'll be easier parking, because in the summer, and it's anything but at the moment, it's bitterly cold, this is a really popular location. We come here today, there's a police raid on. From here we can actually see into the back of the van. They've opened it up now and it's full of barrels. What have we got? Have we got whiskey smuggling from Scotland down into England? Because Scotland's only a short hop and a skip up the road. I don't know. What on earth's going on? These interesting things we find all over the place, and we'll no doubt one day see something in the news about what this is. But for the moment, they've been there a little while. I imagine it's going to be a while longer. Okay, so as part of the refurbishment, I've just been told they're going to be renovating the petrol station. Let me have a guess. There's currently 8 pumps, each probably got 2 nozzles on it, so that's 16 locations. I think they're probably going to make it smaller but more modern, because EVs are taking over, ICE cars are fading rapidly. These are going to be a thing of the past. In fact, they might slap a preservation order on that for the future. So when we were coming off, my map for some reason took me all around the countryside. We were northbound on the M6. It didn't seem to want to let me go off into the Northbound Services and just have a 200 or 300 yard nip over the bridge and into here, which is perfectly legal. Took me all over the place and brought me back around about 4 miles. Crazy. So just a quick message, if you are coming north, there are no Tesla chargers on the northbound side at this stage. So when you come up north, come off at the Tebay Services, head out, and there'll be a signpost for the Tesla Superchargers. Follow the signpost, it's about 200 or 300 yards, brings you in here, and here you are. Yeah. So there's heavy plant here, which is just bringing stuff over by a 6-ton loads. Got a bulldozer over there loading one. It drives past here, drops in there, and we've got a bulldozer over there just levelling it all off. So it's constant backwards and forwards. So when this is all level, this is actually going to be a car park. Now, when I last had a word with the CEO up here, Nabil, he told me that this was going to be solar farm. And it turns out that the solar farm is still on target, but it's going to be further back. And this is going to be an extension of the car park. So they're going to bring the whole car park over this way and allow lorries, HGV, to take over the other side of it down near the petrol station. So keep all the stinky old petrol, diesel and fumes and everything over that side, and let us have a bit of clean air and beautiful scenery on this side. So on the southbound side, we had a full Tesla Supercharger and we had 2 of the Swarco units. No, I correct myself. Very recently, the Swarco has been rebranded. It's now eVolt. None of this has changed, but they didn't have Swarco branding in the first place. So anyhow, it's now called eVolt, so we have to be aware of that. We can see here from the screen, these are 64 pence. Very reasonable price in the public charging world, down with the Fastneds and the EV on the Move, who also rebranded from EV Point. And well below people like Instavolt at 85 pence. That's 21 pence difference. That's a huge difference. Who on earth would use Instavolt at 85 pence when you've got this, you've got Fastned, you've got EV on the Move? Baffles me. And also at some locations, you've got your Tesla Superchargers open to all down in the 40 to 50 pence range. Baffling some people. Anyway, so here we are. So on the southbound side, which we've just been to, there are just two of these dual bay. So there are 4 charging bays, 250 kilowatts, and right opposite them are the Tesla Superchargers, and they are dedicated for Teslas. So they only have 4 bays over there. Over this side, there's no Tesla. So anyone on this side wants to charge, they have to use these. So here they've installed 6 of the eVolt chargers, and these are all 250 kilowatt dual bay chargers, and all nicely marked out. So there's 12 charging locations here, whereas on the other side the chargers were not much in use. Over here there's a good flow of traffic. We've got BMW, got a couple of Mercedes, got an Audi, and we've got a VW ID3. So these are very popular. I was here about 2 years ago, did some filming back then, maybe 18 months ago, just when the channel was starting, and this was all groundwork. So it was all fenced off, it was labelled, and just opposite were 2 of the GridServe, the original electric highway chargers, and that's where we met a very nice family who were having a little bit of trouble with their Skoda Enyaq, and we were able to help them out in some way. We got a few photos from that. But in the meantime, over the last year, what's happened is, looks like GridServe is now gone. Whether they chose to go or whether Westmoreland asked them to go or there was a joint agreement, I don't know, but GridServe now is not in existence at this location. The 2 electric highway chargers that were over there where we met the Skoda, they've gone, they were out, and this was originally being built by GridServe for their own chargers. It's been taken over by Westmoreland. Well, Westmoreland in the meantime obviously have become a charging network of their own, a CPO, charge point operator. So they don't really have a use for GridServe anymore. First of all, they have their own access to their own chargers, the eVolt or the Swarco units. Secondly, they have the ability now to charge at a much more sensible price. These are 64 pence. GridServe 79 pence. Occasionally, you get a bit of discount. So the old ones have gone. We're back on Westmoreland for non-Teslas and Tesla Supercharger for the Teslas. In case anyone's interested and they're wondering how you get from north to south, you have to go up to the next junction. No, you don't. There is an access road and it's clearly marked over there, Tesla charging. So if you are northbound and you come off into this charging, into the service station and you want to charge, you can go across to the Tesla chargers. If you are a non-Tesla, there's no reason to. You charge here, there's 12 bays here altogether, no reason for you to go across. But if you're a Tesla, you're not going to pay 64 pence, when over there it's about 42 or 46 pence at the moment. So follow the signs, you go up, there's a few no entry signs, it's all down for legality, but you are allowed to drive through it. You come out at the top of the road, you go turn right over both carriageways of the motorway, turn right again, and you're in the southbound section. Well, just in a few months, this place has changed out of all recognition. Excuse me if I'm shivering, it is bitterly cold here today. It's mid-November, and a bit of snow last night, all gone now, of course. But the work here is going on at a cracking pace. We've been over on the southbound side, met up with a number of staff up there, and we found out what's going on. But what's happened over here, this is much more advanced. They've gone ahead with this side of it. The services here were really quite small. They didn't have a lot of parking space. Over on the southbound side, they have just 6 bays for HGV lorries. So it was really not welcoming for them. And they were it was quite a tight turn to get into those bays. They're obviously trying to expand, and they're looking to attract more of the HGVs, but also take advantage of the tourist trade. So what's happened over here is the car park has changed out of all recognition. The bottom side of it is now for motorhomes, caravans, and the top off here is for coaches. If you excuse the noise in the background. This is coach bays. We've got about 8 coach bays here. So this is now going to become, we think, a big stopping off place for coaches northbound, southbound, Scotland, Midlands, etc. The car park, small amount over there, but then there's a car park behind with an extra 120 spaces. There's a lot going on here, but they're working very hard to make this an attractive place to stop for HGVs, for the lorries. And that's why this has now been added. This is a huge area here. There was virtually nothing here before that wouldn't take up parking spaces. So this is beautifully laid out, plenty of room, they reverse into place. All of the stuff around us, we can see here, the bank, it's still got seedlings growing, the grass has only just been planted. The bank over there hasn't even, yeah, I think it has been seeded, it's not really taken off yet. So this is all brand new, and we're told the southbound side will be finished sometime March, April, in time for the summer season anyhow. So this is such a big difference, and with attracting the lorries, but in particular with attracting coaches, the inside services no longer can cater, because if you come here beforehand, we come here regularly, there are queues here on occasions. It's a very popular site. So to bring in all the coaches full of people and they all offload and go into the services, they need some work, and hence there's a lot of refurbishment going on with the existing services, car parks and everything. So massive change here, and this has always been one of my favourite locations, one of my favourite motorway services and charging locations. Got a fabulous location down in Gloucester, another one up in Cairn Lodge, up near the Scottish, just over the Scottish border, and they've got other locations going in shortly. Did a video about 6 months ago. They've applied for planning permission for a hotel and charging location on the M56. So it's all going, and with Westmoreland now becoming their own CPO, they run their own chargers. They can charge whatever price they want, and from people to talk to, the price of 64 pence looks like it's going to stay for the foreseeable future. So that's it for now. I'm going to get into the wall because this is absolutely bitter. So thanks very much for watching.